The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Live from Southern National Motorsports Park here on LSRTV, your home for sim racing. This is round number 8 of the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified series right here on iRacing Live and LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Cisco Scaramouche alongside with me, going to be Kyle Barnes tonight as we get set for another 100-lap duel here as BRL takes to Southern National Motorsports Park. It's been a crazy week in motorsports, that's for sure, and we're happy you're along with us for the ride. Kyle, coming into tonight, this has been J.R. Shepard's playground as of late. He won his 3rd race on the season so far, and that was back at Five Flags 1 week ago. Coming into tonight, Kyle has the opportunity to win his 4th race and keep working on that points lead. What does he need to do to make it happen here tonight?
Really, he's just going to have to keep it out front. This is a momentum track, similar to what you guys are watching on the All-Star race tonight, if you have that up while you're watching this modified event. It's all about momentum here. You're very little off the throttle, back right on it, right before the center. So as long as he can keep his momentum up, stay out front, he should cruise to a victory here.
Yeah, that's the game plan anyway, Kyle. Coming into tonight, Stefan Alphonse, a slim points lead over J.R. Shepard, just 6 points separating the 98, and Stefan Alphonse in the 13. But Southern National, one of the newer short tracks on the service here, Kyle. This is a track that has some mileage at this point. It's not super old, it's not super new like something like the Bull Ring, so these guys have had the opportunity to run here a little bit, but still newer to a lot of drivers. We don't see a lot of mileage at this track normally. What sets this track apart from some of the rest of the short tracks we're visiting?
It's high speed, and it's also got some tight corners, so you're going to see some real door-to-door action here. They're going to have to use probably the high side by the end of the race. I would expect you'll see guys move up further and further and further as we go along. It's not something maybe like a Five Flags where you're glued to the bottom the whole time. These guys are going to have a little bit of real estate to work with, and it's really going to play a factor as we move on into the race.
Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. And one thing to note tonight, of course, LSRTV doubleheader tonight. Immediately following this race, you can catch the championship battle between the 4 drivers who make up the USR Championship picture. That'll be immediately following this race at 10 o'clock Eastern here on LSRTV. Just about 20 seconds left to go as drivers finishing up their warm-up time. Of course, if you aren't familiar with the series, we don't have to worry about qualifying because qualifying is the reverse grid of the top 10 from 1 week ago, and that's going to make it a little bit tougher here for J.R. Shepard to repeat, but we've seen him be able to nail down and be able to come from the 10th starting spot and work his way back through this field. A very big field here tonight, 21 modifieds, the SK variety in this case, going to be taking the track here at Southern National. But the clock's striking 0, and with that, we're going to send it down trackside and take a look at your LSRTV starting grid as the pace car hits the start-finish straight right now, I should say. Starting on pole is going to be the driver of John Holcomb, finished 10th last week, going to start first here at Southern National. Second going to go to Dustin Powers. Third starter is going to be Ben Azinga. Newer driver to the series, had an impressive showing, though a little bit chaotic last week. Then Matt Chinaski is going to start 4th, with 5th going to Kenny Kibbe, 6th to Stefan Alphonse, 7th going to go to Donnie Moore, 8th to Charles Lahr, 9th going to be J.R. Shepard, and Todd Liston rounds out your top 10.
Bill Jewell will line up 11th, Eric Nordhoff will line up 12th, John Hine 13th, Justin Allen 14th, Brian Dine 15th, and Charles Kuzma 16th. Mike Allen will roll off 17th position, Jay Harned Hardin 18th, Chip Dickert 19th, Kurt Smith will round out your top 20, and then Jason Menda will round out the 20-car field.
Yeah, so 21 cars is one of the commenters pointing out. That's almost double what our usual field is here. So excited to see a lot of these SK Modifieds taking the track here tonight, and it's going to be a busy race here in BRL tonight as the cars begin to roll off 2 pace laps here at this track. And Kyle, kind of last minute thoughts, if you're someone like a J.R. Shepherd starting mid-pack, what's going to be your strategy here to get through this field early on?
I'm going to take care of the nose first and foremost. I got to be there at the end to have a chance to win this race. So it's probably going to be a little chaotic here off the start. We're just going to keep the nose clean, try and save a little bit for the end of the race, and hope we can move our way up to the front safely while also making some passes.
Yeah, I think safely is going to be a key factor here. The definitely last week, I think, wasn't as clean as these guys would have liked, but of course that was at the old Five Flag Speedway, which can be a little bit chaotic. We've seen plenty of craziness happen there in my time as a broadcaster, so definitely looking forward to seeing what Southern National, what kind of racing we're going to see here. Pace cars in. Thank you for joining us here on LSRTV. Green flag is in the air, and John Holcomb leads them to the start-finish line, but not for long. 25 on the outside. Dustin Powers trying to make it happen. So they're side by side, 2 by 2 by 2, as they head through turns 3 and 4 for the first time.
Yeah, it's that outside line I was talking about before we started the event. Dustin Powers looks like he's getting a little bit of the run here on lap 1, but it's going to be John Holcomb powering out to the front of the field. Meanwhile, we have Menazinga, Manchinowski, and then Steven Alphins gets a little bit loose coming through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, it got a little bit sketchy there with Alphonse, the driver defending champion in this series. Going to be watching that pink number 13. Different colors on that car. Had a paint scheme swap, I should say, last week, and different colors on board. Not the usual pure later machine we're used to seeing out of Alphonse, but he's really liking that new car tonight as he has to work his way right now from 6th to get back to the lead. Holcomb right now in command, though, has opened up about a 2-car length gap over Dustin Powers, and Powers coming into tonight definitely could use a good momentum to shake things up for him, as he's not even close to the top of the point standings, running 13th right now overall. Could definitely use a good night to help boost himself in the standings. Lap 5 already in the books here, or yep, in the books, and side by side right now, Manchinowski up on the top side trying to take it to that 14 of Kenny Kibbe.
Yeah, Matt got a little bit loose there coming off turn 4 the last lap, and Kenny just took full advantage of it, dived to his inside. It looks like Matt's going to want to get back to the bottom side as quick as he can, though, as the low line's going to have the advantage early in the race. We see J.R. Shepherd, he's going to make a pass past Manchinowski here. He's going to move himself into the 6th place position, and he's going to set his sights on the 5th place man, Alphonse.
Yeah, Alphonse right now has moved himself into that 5th position, the Pets Overnight entry, just in front of the quick lane modified of J.R. Shepherd. And as we run right now, laps clicking by extremely quickly here, only about a 14-second lap time or so. And of course, these guys not going to be taking tires, so that will fall off a little bit here, Kyle. But not, I think, as much as some of these drivers might be thinking here. It's tire conservation is going to be key here with how intense that banking is in some of these corners.
Yeah, I don't really think that you're going to have tire fall off, but I don't really think it's going to be as to the extreme as you would see with a street stock or maybe a Legends car around here because of how wide these tires are. The biggest thing is going to make sure that you're not getting too tight, as we have a big wreck in turn 4 with Eric Nordhoff and Kurt Smith around.
Nordhoff going to go around it. Oh, right in it is going to be the 69, not paying attention, and John Holcomb may have just cost himself a good run there. I cannot believe that, Kyles. We'll take a second look and we'll wind back and see what initially caused this accident. It looks like the 22 getting turned around a little bit here as we take a second look on the LSRTV replay. You see the 6 come up, just tag, spin him around. 22 goes around, and then for whatever reason, John Holcomb, I mean, the caution came out, wasn't paying attention up the track, and bam, there's a modified right there. And all of a sudden, John Holcomb, what looked like to be a very promising run, Kyle, goes right out the window.
Absolutely. I mean, you hear the admins all the time in these series up in the tower. They're always telling drivers when the caution comes out, use your head, slow down. I'm not really sure whether Holcomb just wasn't paying attention to the caution flag or whether, to be quite honest, he just really didn't have his head in it. I'm not really sure, but that's not only is that going to cost him some damage right there, but that's also going to cost him the lead. iRacing's already placed him back into the 5th place position, and we'll have to see where he shakes out. But what a tough break for John. Looked like he was going to have a pretty strong run tonight, but he's got some pretty significant front end damage.
Yeah, that was a massive impact there, and definitely going to move him back through the field, and not sure if he's going to be able to recover from that, Kyle, to get back to where he was before. Some massive damage, and yeah, went down pit road, got some of that repaired. But the good news for him is be able to take that car back out on racetrack here. The good news for these guys is they do have that backup car in case they need it. So Holcomb going to use that, but he's got to pass about 19 cars, Kyle, to get back to where he was. That was the easiest pass to Mike Allen coming down pit road, get some damage repaired. But the good news for Holcomb is he's got the backup car on ice. The bad news is he has to get through 18 cars to get back to where he was.
Absolutely, and I mean, just look at how fast the laps are taking off here. I mean, we're running 14-second laps or sub 14-second laps around this place. I mean, it doesn't give you much time. And if we have a lot of cautions, cautions breed cautions. If we see more and more cautions as we get going here, that's just going to make life harder and harder on John Holcomb.
Yes, it will. Pace car lights are off this time. Dustin Powers, Ben Azinga, Kenny Kibbe, Stefan Alphonse, and J.R. Shepard, your top 5 as we head through 3 and 4. Pace car going to head to pit road this time, and field going to be in the hands of Dustin Powers. Green flag back in the air. We're back racing at Southern National. Powers out to a great start already, and Ben Azinga right there in second position. Going to get tapped there from the 14 to Kibbe. He's not going to be able to save it, and around down the apron goes the 17, and just like that, Kyle back under the caution. Not good for the 69, and definitely not good for Azinga there.
No, I called it there. Cautions breed cautions, and especially at a track like Southern National where you're just so tight in these restarts, and especially early on in the race, you want to get down to the bottom, and that's pretty much what Ben was trying to do there. He's trying to get down to the bottom. Unfortunately, he wasn't clear, and Kenny couldn't check up for him. Nothing Kenny could have done there, really, in my opinion. Just stuck his nose in there and held his line, and Ben went around.
And Azinga there trying to save the car there, Kyle, but that's as sideways as he was lucky that he didn't get into the wall or maybe something worse. So it could have been a whole lot worse for the 17. It's still going to be a long road to hoe for him, though.
Absolutely. And luckily, Ben didn't get too much damage, maybe none at all from that accident. Regardless, he's going to have that fast repair in the pit if he needs it. So it's going to be interesting to see him and I believe it was Holcomb get back up through the field. I think they can do it. It's just going to be a matter of getting some green flag laps to have that chance to make the pass.
Yeah, I agree, Kyle. So second caution here tonight. Lap 20 right now being worked. Going to complete that when we cross the start-finish line. Dustin Powers has been in command here for just about half of those laps. Has led 9 so far of the total of 19. Going to be 10 here when we get to the start-finish line. 10 of the 20. So Dustin Powers continuing to lead. Kenny Kibbe, who car came off the nose for that one. Kibbe luckily doesn't look like there's really any sort of scratches or anything on that particular SK Modified, so he's going to be good to go. Alphonse right there running third. You can see him running flat. Watch out for the barrels there, Stefan. You don't want to Matt Kenseth yourself at Dover here. That would not be good. And running in that third position, he's worked his way up through this field already, Kyle, and started 6th up to 3rd right now. J.R. Shepard, same story, second verse, started 9th, running 4th right now. Your 2 probably strongest drivers out of the last few weeks, flying through your field so far.
Yeah, just keeping their nose clean, avoiding the accidents, and getting up to the front the best they can. But we're getting ready to go green here. We're going to try and see Dustin Powers. I'm sure he's going to try and get the jump here on Kenny Kibbe as we come off turn 4.
Yep, pace car going to head in this time, so re-green here from Southern National as both cars under power about the same time. Not as big of a jump that time for Powers, and Kibbe going to try and give chase here as we head through turns 2, and the bottom side going to prevail there for Stefan Alphonse, whose nose is going to edge out in front. We head through 3 and 4, and oh, big problems behind. That's a car up and over.
Yeah, that's Donnie Moore. Unfortunately, looked like he had some contact and a little bit of help from the 00 of Machinowski going into turn 3 and absolutely just flipped that car around up into the outside wall.
That's never a good thing you want to see at a short track under our 3rd caution here, and Watch the 26 here. He's on the outside of Shinosky, and right behind him you see the 87 of Todd Liston. Not sure who's going to be at fault on this one. You see the 00 down there on the bottom side, a little bit tight, and I think that's all it took, Kyle, and get it bounced off the tire. He almost got shot over the tire. I think that's what ramped the car up in the air, and then just got absolutely pile driven by some of the cars in the rest of your field. I think that was the 6 of Kurt Smith that ended up giving the killing blow to the motor for the 26 there.
Yeah, luckily for the number 6, I don't think that he has too much, well, he does have quite a bit of damage on the front end from that contact, but doesn't look like he's too concerned about it. Gonna stay out, just run with what he has, and I can't say that I blame him. We're getting a lot of cautions here. No reason to come down, lose about 5 or 6 spots. We may just have a caution-filled race here tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of going that route, Kyle. Definitely a bigger field, probably not helping in that regard. But these guys, they ran green flag early. I think they're going to be able to do it again here once this field gets a little bit more spread out and everyone kind of gets the jitters out. You know, caution comes out, everybody gets uber aggressive. I think if these guys can calm it down here, we might be able to go green flag for a little bit longer, and we'll see what these guys can do. Definitely the restart going to be interesting here. His power is going to get another good jump, and what's going to happen to Alphonse? Pace cars in, green flag in the air, and Alphonse not a good jump there for the 13, and that's going to bring Kibbe right back into this fight. Going to try and take the spot. He lost on the last restart, but nope, caution going to fly once again as problems in the back.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is Benazinga again in one of the cautions. He unfortunately just got collected. Looks like we had a driver on the high side of the restart. Just try and come down. It looks like it was the 44 here of Jay Harden, and tried to cut down across the 16 of Charlie Kuzma. Unfortunately, Kuzma was there, and nothing he could have done. Of course, I really can't say that I blame the 44 in that position, as they did have a massive stack up on the outside row, there, starting about 6th place. Not really sure if somebody missed a gear or what, but Jay was just trying to avoid that, and unfortunately caught himself up with the inside row.
Yeah, so you see the 44, yeah, it was a case where it would have been bad if he kept going straight. It would have been bad if he went low, and he really couldn't go high, so that was a no-win scenario. I think if he had checked up, he would have gotten run over as well. So really a not good there, and that was got all started there when I believe that was the 75, yeah, the 75 of John Hine. That black and red car got all sorts of wrong on the gear shift there or something along the lines, but I think he might have left in second there, Kyle, because these cars only 2 gears. Might have left in second on the restart and didn't downshift to first.
He could have. It's a very simple mistake to make here, running these SK or tour type modifieds on iRacing, so it wouldn't be that much of a surprise. Unfortunate for the guys behind him, but it is just one of those racing deals, and not much you can do in that situation other than just hope to call it out, and hopefully the guys behind you have a place to go.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of goof up your field a little bit. You see some of these cars trapped behind the pace car. They're going to take the wave around to get back on the lead lap, the 6 and the 17. That's because the caution flew so early after we took the green flag that the pace car I don't think even reached its standstill box at that point. So those cars going to go around this time and have to catch back up with the field. Same top 5 that we had just a moment ago, though. I do want to note the 00, Matt Shinosky, kind of working his way through this field. Let's see what he might be able to do here as the pace car gets set to head back to pit road once again. Dustin Powers, 22 laps led. Green flag back in the air. We're a third of the way through it. And Dustin Powers, once again, great restart, but Alphonse able to get to the inside and secure that second spot. Kibbe going to get shut out as J.R. Shepard going to fly by and grab that 3rd position.
Yeah, that was an excellent restart by the front row of Alphonse and Powers there. Just got a massive jump on everybody in the 2nd row on back, and Alphonse and Powers were able to get single file. And meanwhile, J.R. Shepard was able to use the high side around Kenny Kibbe. You have to go all the way back to around 8th and 9th place to find your first battle between Loel Jewell and Brian Dean, as Jewell tries to find his way back to the inside line.
Yeah, Brian Dean in that 23 car, one of the mainstays in this series, been trying to steadily improve his ranking here. And Lowell Jewell, who has not had the season he's wanted, definitely not show problems in the back. And that's a car going around bright green, and that almost means the 04 Chip Dickert. Not very many different cars to that paint scheme, and the green not paying off for him tonight, as that'll bring out another caution here. Saw him go around, and it was off, actually. It looks like maybe the 59 of Mike Allen here, as we'll take a second look. That bright orange and white machine down on the bottom side. You see the 04 chip goes to the outside, just gets a little bit loose. I think came down a little bit further than he would have liked, right onto Allen, and then the 45 goes around, and just like that, caution back out, and that was Jason Menda in the 45 who got tagged there.
Yeah, it was an extremely odd instant there going down into turn 3. Riding in the cockpit, it almost looks like maybe he wheel hopped going in. I can't really say. It was extremely weird. Right when he got on the brakes, it just turned dead left, and he really had nowhere to go except down into the 56. And of course, 56 at that point, he was already committed and had nowhere to go. And then everybody else was able to somewhat avoid it, but of course at a short track like this with tight confines, somebody's going to be collected in a situation like that.
Yeah, I agree, Kyle. So he's pace under the caution once again. Lap number 40 being worked on right now. Dustin Powers, Stefan Alfon's going to have to restart from the outside again. I think if he gets another one of those good restarts like he got last time, Kyle, that should be good for the 13, but this has been kind of Dustin Powers. He's kind of been better on these restarts, or at least more consistent. And I think if you're Alphonse, is it worth giving up the battle for the lead if you just drop to that inside to make sure J.R. Shepard doesn't steal it?
I would think so. J.R. Shepard, as you mentioned earlier, has been on a tear in this series this whole entire season. So, you know, J.R. is going to try and keep his nose in there. And if Alphonse doesn't get down, then he may be a sitting duck here on this restart.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how the cards are going to fall in his favor. Lap number 41 coming to get completed. And Dustin Powers back on the loud pedal. Re-green from Southern National. Alphonse not waiting for him. He's going to fire it off, and he's going to try and make it work on the outside. Alphonse not giving up there, but Powers still leads as we head back towards 3 and 4. J.R. Shepard in the mix as well. Now they'll battle for second. Alphonse not able to hang tough with Powers. Powers going to clear, and Alphonse going to try and make the outside work against J.R. Shepard.
Yeah, Alphonse is trying to run a little bit of a diamond on his entry and try and get a straight line drive off. Oh, as we have somebody sped out in front of the leaders. Sorry about that, Cisco, but not sure who that was, but that was almost extremely bad.
That had Kevin LePage written all over it, Kyle, and luckily the 26 able to get out of the way. That actually happened a while ago, so the 26, it looked like, was already stricken. Remember, he had to go to the backup car. You had the checkup there. You see that on your screen. Ure gets into the nose there, then loses speed, then just kind of goes 4 wide, which is never good, and then it gets tagged in the left rear by Zinga there. 26 goes into the inside wall. Normally, if he's on the apron right there, but pulls back out in front of traffic and then spins it out trying to get to pit road. Car sits there, and then he gets to pit road, but not before the field gets there and triggers the caution. Kyle, the caution not flying until he was a threat to actually making contact with the leaders, so caution going to fly there for Donnie Moore.
Yeah, you can't blame iRacing for that one at all. They were just waiting until somebody was in danger, and then they finally hit. And I don't really think Donnie meant to do that whatsoever. This from the apron to the banking, it is quite a steep change right there going back onto the racing surface. So I would say probably the rear tires just spun him around, and he wasn't expecting it. No big deal. At least he got it out of the way of the leaders. No harm, no foul.
Well, Kyle, I think one of the things we have to start talking about here is caution-filled as this has been. We could be dealing with a time-shortened race here. This race limited on time, so it does not go over that hour mark or so. These guys going to have to wrap this up here or go green for a little bit. Kyle, what's the time situation looking like?
It looks like we still have around 40 minutes left. As you know, Cisco, these caution laps are only 30 seconds each, so we should be good to run the full 100-lap distance. If I'm J.R. Shepard or Stephen Alphonse, that's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, well, Alphonse going to restart on the inside this time. Lost that second position to J.R. Shepard. Wheel spin a little bit there from Powers, and it gave Shepard an opportunity to try and make it work. Not going to happen as we're almost to halfway already. Shepard going to go on the outside wall. No wreck behind. The 14 goes nearly up and over, and Shepard catching the wall, and it's going to be even worse. A huge pileup after the fact. Brian Dean, the 45. Oh dear, that's a lot of wrecked race cars.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like coming off of turn 2, Powers may have just drifted up just ever so slightly and collected J.R. Shepard, sent Shepard up into the wall, and then everybody just checked up behind him trying to stay off. The 14 got an extreme amount of damage there hitting the inside wall, but I have no idea what happened going down in turn 3 to collect so many more drivers.
So you watch the 98. Shepard kind of gets side-checked a little bit, gets in the wall. You see the 14 go to the inside, and looking, there's Mike Allen, and looking for Dean. There's Dean, who actually, I think, caused the second part of the caution here. We'll wind it back and take a look and see what happened to cause all that. But I think, oh, he might have gotten tagged by possibly the 10 car. Take a second look at this on the chopper. Okay, so we have to back it up a little bit here. This actually does kind of stem from the 14 of Kenny Kibbe. So Kibbe gets sent down to the inside. You'll watch the 10 car here of that's Justin Allen, and Allen gets into the 23, spins him out after the caution's flown, and they all just fly right up the wall. And normally we talk about short tracks being self-cleaning. Well, that one was the opposite, Kyle. They all went right into traffic. That's not at all good.
Yeah, I think that was more of a self-collecting incident right there. Yeah. But, I mean, really, what can you do in that type of situation? They think they've already passed the accident. They're probably looking in their rearview mirrors and not paying any attention in front of them. And then that's just causing everybody else to get collected right there. I mean, I don't really know any other reason why everybody drove into that like that other than maybe they were just watching their rearview mirrors a little bit too much.
Yeah, and unfortunately, going to wreck a lot more race cars here, and that's not what everybody was looking forward to doing. Remember, they have that one backup car in case they need it, and I think a bunch of the field's going to have to use it. I see Justin Allen back in a fresh car. Charlie Kuzma, I believe, had to do the same. No doubt Brian Dean definitely had to, and the 45 we documented. Jason looking, yeah, that looks like a new car to me from here, so... Basically, two cars. John Holcomb, I don't think, had the option, and Donnie Moore wasn't involved. He was in the last thing. His green flag going to come back out as racing once again.
It looks like we're going to have Charles Lahr going to the inside of Steven Alphons here. Going down into turn 1, Charles Lahr looks like he's going to get a little bit of advantage coming off turn 4, but we got to look back at J.R. Shepard sitting there in 4th place, just waiting for his chance to attack. How much damage did he get on that last incident, and is that going to affect him any more in the race as Alphons gets into the wall and caution behind them?
Yeah, caution behind. Sorry about the ticker. It wasn't didn't turn green for us. I had to do it manually. But problems in the back once again, possibly with Jason Menda there. We'll have to wind it back and see what happened there, Kyle. But more problems in the back. Oh, yeah, no, it was Dean, the 16, I believe, as well, of Kuzma.
Yeah, Brian Dean just looked like he was trying to get to the inside, and Kuzma tried to slam the door, and Dean said, "No, sir, I'm coming through, whether you're there or not." Unfortunate incident there, but just looked like some hard racing. These guys have got to be getting antsy, knowing how many cautions have taken place already this race, or already in this event. You know, you don't have much time on these restarts as is, and just having a caution each and every 2 or 3 laps puts even more pressure on these guys to get their spots as they can get them.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's got to be frustrating if, you know, you're some of these drivers. For one thing, if you're John Holcomb, it's basically been the worst race ever because he had the opportunity to kind of come back through the field, never got a chance, and then got taken out in that wreck. But if you're some of these guys towards the back who are looking to have good runs here, if you're Lowell Jewell, for example, you probably have a top 3 car based on the speed he's had, but he just hasn't had the opportunity to actually do anything with it, Kyle. He's been kind of just mired back in 7th because we get green for 2 laps and he can't go anywhere.
You're absolutely right. The only person that's probably happy about each and every one of these caution flags that has came out tonight is that man on the front, Dustin Powers. He's led most of the laps just simply by getting a good jump on the restart and then waiting for the caution to fly. Each and every restart he's executed nearly perfectly, other than the one restart where Steven Alphons looked like he was going to get a jump on him. But he's got to be the only man right now that's looking forward to caution after caution after caution. Meanwhile, you have Charles Lahr, Steven Alphons, J.R. Shepard, and John Hound. The rest of your top 5, those guys are probably happy to see cautions happen behind them, but it's not giving them any sort of opportunity to head up towards the front.
I do want to point out Stefan Alphons. We'll get Kyle sorted on the European naming convention here before too long. But top 5, like you mentioned, Powers, Lahr, Alphons, Shepard, and Hine. Going to be your top 5. Pace car going to lead these guys back to the start-finish line. Going to complete lap number 60 this time. So like Kyle said, we should be good to go on time. It's only 9:30, so we got another half hour to go. Green flag back in the air. Powers is gone, and the 4 of Charles Lahr, not a great restart. And as an opportunity for Stefan Alphons, yep, he's going to go straight to 2nd, and J.R. Shepard going to try and follow through for 3rd.
Yeah, that damage is not hurting J.R. Shepard in the slightest, as J.R. Shepard's going to get a massive run off of turn 4, and he's going to look to pass Charles Lahr and clear him off of turn 2. Look at John Hine, he's going to try and stick his Nerf bar in there, but simply can't, as he's going to fall into line in 5th. Again, you have to go all the way back almost to 12th or 13th before you see your first bit of action, as the top 10 has gotten single file and going to try and get some green flag laps in here.
And I think most everybody in the top 10 is just breathing a little bit of relief here, the fact that we are single file right now, but that means if you're Stefan Alfons, it's probably not going to work. If we go green here, this is going to be a case where it might come into a little bit of a long run scenario, but if you're Stefan Alfons or J.R. Shepard, it may not be worth waiting, because a caution could fly and stack everybody up, and we might just end up back where we were beforehand. So you kind of have to run with what you got and see if you can get to the front. Powers continuing to lead, and Alfons not really being able to focus on Powers because he's had a mirror full of J.R. Shepard, and Shepard is starting to pull away a little bit here from Charles Lahr. Break away for your top 3 starting to happen here.
Let's keep in mind, though, J.R. Shepard and Stefan Alfons have both hit the wall and had pretty significant outside contact on their right front tires. So that may be playing into a little bit of the factor of maybe they're waiting and don't want to get too aggressive because they're not sure what it's going to do on the inside line. Meanwhile, Dustin Powers looks like he's moving up a little bit on the racetrack, maybe trying to get a little bit more of a run coming off the corners and trying to stay away from Alfons and Shepard.
Yeah, Powers right now continuing to lead, trying to run away, and Alfons got a little bit checked up there behind the 25, and once again that brings Shepard right into this equation. But the problem is when the line checks up like that, it's side by side. Going to go for a second there for a moment, nothing there yet for Shepard, but that brings Charles Lahr right into this equation, and Lahr trying to have a good race here, and has come from a little bit of ways back and started 8th and running 4th right now. Is that driver the number 4, and the kind of similar to Ken Block colors we're seeing on that modified at the moment, and sitting in that 4th position. Back meanwhile, John Hine continuing to run 5th. Lowell Jules up to 6th right now, is able to get a spot on that restart. Then Chinaski, Mike Allen, Benazinga, and Todd List in your top 10 is further back. Justin Allen, Brian Dean, and Jay Harned, and everybody else single file here for the moment.
Yeah, it looks like everybody, for the most part, from 13th on back are just clicking off laps at this point. A lot of them still have damage, trying to get around here the best they can, but look back up front, Alfons almost to the bumper of Dustin Powers that time's through turn 1 and 2. He really wants to get going here because he knows if a caution comes out, he gets loose it to the wall. Alfons around and up in the air. Caution finally comes out. Charles Lahr, unfortunately, was also collected in that. It looks like he's already gotten out of his race car and towed that back to the pits.
Well, we weren't at Indianapolis Motor Speedway today, but apparently they wanted to replicate that a little bit because Alfons took quite a tumble. We'll take a second look at that one and just got into the outside wall again. That's kind of been a little bit of a recurring issue for Alfons. He's had speed, but just gets psyched out. In that case, hit the apron, got the car all sorts out of loose, and then gets drop kicked by the number 4 of Charles Lahr, and up and over goes Stefan Alfons. The defending champ is on his lid there, as we'll take a second look. We'll right on board with Lahr to get his vantage point from that, but yeah, that's like I said, that's never good to see cars going in the air at short tracks.
No, absolutely not. And that's actually, you know, absolutely the worst place you can be if you're Charles Lahr. Just completely unfortunate circumstances that collected him into the accident. Nothing of his own doing. Alfons just got a little bit loose there coming off the corner, hit the outside wall, and unfortunately Charles Lahr had no.
And there was a secondary incident is that in there as well, Kyle. The 44 going over of Jay Harned as well. We didn't even see that one, but that was another wreck going on after this.
Oh wow. I don't know. This is
oh, it was, yeah, so the 44 looks like it was Mike Allen the 59, and then the 44 just didn't break for that one, but problems with the 59 of Mike Allen. We'll take one last look if we have time to go back and document that one a little bit more, because we didn't really even see that one happen.
No, it was actually, the wreck on the front stretch has already taken place or was in the process of happening. It looks like Benazinga going down into turn 3 just tried to get underneath Allen, and there wasn't enough room there, made contact. Allen went around, and then the guys behind him just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and that's going to take out a couple more cars here as getting quickly back to the green flag here in a moment. Nope, lights are still on the moment, so I wasn't sure. Now we are back to the live picture, and there the lights go out this time. So Dustin Powers, J.R. Shepard, they survived. John Hines survived. Lowell Jewell also survived, has moved up into the 4th position and just basically kept his nose clean and out of trouble here. So league admin, an owner, administrator, overlord, whatever you want to call him, Lowell Jewell sitting in a prime position right now as he's going to restart 4th. Pace car heading in possibly for the last time. Let's find out. Green flag back in the air. Dustin Powers on the loud pedal, and J.R. Shepard going to hang tough with them as they head through 1 and 2.
J.R. Shepard's going to have the momentum coming off turn 2. Dustin gets a little bit loose. J.R.'s going to stay even with him going right into turn 3. Going to be a drag race coming back to the start-finish line, but Powers is going to have a little bit of an advantage as he crosses the start-finish line. However, look at John Hine. He snuck his way up into the top 3, and he's going to try and take advantage of these two racing. As we go,
look at Shepard
back to the inside.
Crossover move for the quick lane forward and down on the inside out of turn number 4. He'll lead for the first time tonight, and Shepard to the point and going to try and drive away. Meanwhile, Lowell Jewell trying to make it work on John Hine. Hine going to get in the outside wall, and Jewell just going to drive right by the Navy Modified. Going to be able to close it out here. No, not quite. Hine will hang tough on the outside, but Lowell's going to have that position through 1 and 2. And now maybe Benazinga going to try and steal that 4th position away, but Jewell going to try and drive away.
Yeah, Mr. Closer, Benazinga, let me tell you what, he's been in almost every single incident tonight, whether it just be by bystander or whatever the case may be, but he is running and passing for 4th as John Hine gets up into the wall again coming off turn 4. However, J.R. Shepard back up front, let me tell you, he has drove away from Dustin Powers, and if this thing stays green, I don't know if anybody has anything for him.
Yeah, I think if it stays green, it's going to look very good for J.R. Shepard in that quick lane machine. 16 laps going to be to go at the line, and Shepard continuing to drive away. Powers kind of in no man's land. It's probably going to have to worry about Lowell Jewell before he worries about J.R. Shepard, because Jewell is catching Powers just a little bit of a time. It was about a 10th last time by at the start-finish line. No, it's going to go in the way of Dustin Powers that time, so kind of trading off lap times, but either way, that's not quick enough to catch J.R. Shepard, who's continuing to drive away here as we get 14 laps to go.
Absolutely. J.R. Shepard's just got such a smooth line going through the corners, and he is pulling away every single time he gets back into the gas. But I tell you what, Benazinga pulling in on Lowell Jewell as they get ready to come up close to 10 laps to go here for the race. Benazinga's going to get another run coming off turn 4. Look to the inside, nothing there as they head off into 1 and 2.
Now 1 and 2 this time there for Zinga, the 17, trying to make lemonade out of some rotten lemons. It's been tonight here for Zinga. Has been, like you said, involved in a lot of incidents, but hanging tough there. He's going to get to the inside of Jewell this time, and car's going to get a little bit loose. He'll hold on to it, but that was a first attempt there by Zinga. It's not over yet. Lowell giving him a lot of bottom here, so we take 11 to go.
Yeah, Lowell's being extremely courteous here on the late in the race, as Benazinga's going to stick his nose in again and get side by side, but he is going to get a little bit loose coming off turn 2. That's that outside line we was talking about early in the race. The outside line looks to be the place to be, as Benazinga's going to use the apron, cut across it, and he'll probably complete the pass coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, Zinga, yes, he will clear him that time, but Lowell going to cut right to the bottom, maybe try the crossover. Nerf bar not quite there. Going to get the door shut on him there, and Lowell Jewell going to fall back to 4th. Probably not going to be terribly happy about getting the door slammed in his face, but Jewell back to 4th, and Zinga up to 3rd, and Dustin Powers still not that much closer to J.R. Shepard, so we take 8 to go.
Yeah, but Lowell Jewell and Benazinga fighting it out. That's allowed John Hine to catch back up to these two drivers. John fell off a little bit there on the restart, got a little bit loose, but now he's settled in. Air pressures have come up a little bit for him, and he looks like he may be able to challenge for 4th with Lowell Jewell here.
Yeah, I think Hine may be taking the opportunity, letting those guys in front of him run the tires off. And like you said, air pressures may run some of the good out of the car here, because he's found a second wind, as it seems, and right back to the back bumper of Jewell. I think Jewell's getting held up a little bit because Zinga loose once again off the corner there. That's not helping. 6 to go. It'll be 5 to go at the line, and Hine's got to make something happen here, Kyle, because time is running out. About maybe a minute 10 left to go in this race.
Yeah, Hine may be running in 5th, but I think Lowell Jewell, if he gets to the back bumper of Zinga, he's going to remember how Zinga cut him off of turn 2, and he may just put the bumper to him. Not really sure how Lowell's been racing all season long, but this could get a little bit interesting, and if I'm John Hine, I may just sit back and watch him race.
Yeah, I think Lowe giving him a lot of space here, a lot of courtesy being shown by that number 5 car. But meanwhile, up front, it's now a second and a half nearly between Dustin Powers and J.R. Shepard. Shepard been in control in this race ever since, and yes, his name is Shepard, and this is his favorite track on iRacing tonight. As Jewel trying to make it happen, he's still stuck behind Azinga. That gap continuing to be maintained and just not able to do anything as we take 2 to go.
Yeah, no, what an absolutely perfect execution by J.R. Shepard. You know, hit the wall earlier in the race, but was able to keep it straight, kept it out of any more trouble after that point, and just got out to the lead after keeping his nose clean, and looks like he's going to drive away to an easy victory here.
And what needed to be a very good night for Shepard and maybe a not-so-great night for Stefan Alphonse is going to give J.R. Shepard the points lead and his 4th win on the season. J.R. Shepard going to go to victory lane at Southern National.
Yep, then we got Dustin Powers finishing in 2nd, Ben Azinga 3rd, Lowell Jewell 4th, and John Hine will round out your top 5 as they come across the line.
Absolutely, and it got very green there for that last little bit, so that was awesome to see these guys. As J.R. Shepard going to burn it down here on the front stretch, or maybe do a victory lap here. We're not really sure what's in the cards for Shepard. He's done a lot of celebrating this season. Going to come down to where the fireworks shooting off in turns 1 and 2, and there he goes, lighting up the iRacing tires. And with that, we're going to take a look at your full field rundown here, as he's going to do a little bit of a Polish victory lap here at Southern National. J.R. Shepard goes to victory lane. 2nd, going to go to Dustin Powers. Benazinga going to finish 3rd. We'll talk to those 3 here in a moment. Lowell Jewell finishes 4th. 5th, going to go to John Hine. Matt Chinaski going to finish 6th, with 7th going to Charlie Kuzma. 8th to Chip Dickert. 9th going to go to Justin Allen. And rounding out your top 10 going to be Eric Nordhoff.
11th is going to be Todd Liston. 12th, starting with some drivers that got involved in some accidents, is going to go to Kenny Kibbe. Jason Menda is going to go 13th. Stefan Alphonse is going to be 14th. Donnie Moore 15th. Kurt Smith 16th. Mike Allen 17th. 18th, Charles Lard. 19th to Brian Dean. Jay Harden is going to go 20th. And then rounding out your 21 car field is John Holcomb.
And with that, we're going to take a moment to step aside here on LSRTV, back with the post-race show. You're watching the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series right here on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Team racing allows multiple iRacing members to team up and race together, just like in real-world endurance series. Teammates can share driving duties, spot for one another, or be a crew chief. Team racing is free, both to join a team and to create one. Each teammate races on his or her own computer from wherever they want to. Your teammates can be anywhere in the world, and changing drivers mid-race is as easy as a click of a button. iRacing features team endurance events ranging from just a couple of hours to 24 hours in length. So, if you fancy taking part in an iRacing endurance race in the future, you can learn more about team racing on the teams page on the member website.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Live Sim Racing LLC and iRacing.com Motorsport Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.
Back live here on LSRTV, your home for sim racing, as we begin the LSRTV post-race show for round number 8 of the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series. As J.R. Shepard celebrating in victory lane, we're going to go have a chat with the driver of the 98, his 4th win on the season. And J.R. got it done once again, and this time I don't think it was as easy for you there. He only got to lead 21 laps, but talk us through the race. It got kind of crazy there for a bit.
Yeah, it definitely did. A lot of cautions early, not something I really expected in this race, but yeah, I was really hoping for some longer green flag runs there, but it just didn't work out that way.
But you got the lead, you actually, before you even got the lead, you had a little bit of an encounter with the wall, which Stefan Alphonse also did, but you were able to recover from that, got the lead about 20 laps to go, and then just pulled away. What was working for you out there?
Well, going back to the contact real quick, I should have been smarter than that. I knew the leaders were going to be aggressive on that restart, and was trying to make an outside move, and I saw him slide up the track a little bit, and when I went to avoid him, it just put me in the marbles and got the wall, and unfortunately it took some guys out, so I apologize to them for that. I should have been smarter, but yeah, it was a little bit of a handful tonight. The car was definitely pushing, getting into the corner and through the center, and you had to really back up your entry to make it work.
Well, you leave tonight here. You're going to be the new points leader as we have about 3 races left to go. Take it over from Stefan Alphonse, who's been in command in this series for a while now. Got to be a good feeling taking the points lead here with still some races to go.
Yeah, it's not a bad feeling, but Stefan's fast everywhere we go, so he's going to be up front, and I'm sure he's going to get a win or 2 more. So it's going to be a battle for sure.
A 4th win on the season. Sponsors, who gets it done for you in that 98 car?
Well, I want to give a shout out to the Bootleg Racing League, Lowell Jewell for everything he does, allowing us to do this. Thank LSRTV for the broadcast you guys do, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
That's J.R. Shepard. They'll have an off week next week, but J.R. Shepard, 4th win on the season. J.R., congrats, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good, guys.
And that is J.R. Shepard. Going to go down pit road now. Kyle Barnes is caught up with the driver who finished 2nd. That's Dustin Powers.
Dustin, looked like you had a fantastic race brewing there from the very get-go. Was able to get out front, lead quite a few laps, and maybe just lost it about mid-race there on one of the restarts. Take us through your race.
Yeah, I got in the lead early in the race. And I think I seen John get into one of the wrecked cars on one of them cautions, and yeah, I like leading laps, but it kind of sucks whenever you're doing it under caution. But I'll take it either way. JR ran a good race, and yeah, I'd pushed that corner 1 and 2 and just pushed it a little bit too hard, and he was on the high side, and he slowed up and was getting that run, and I was pushed a little bit too hard and got loose and opened the door for him, so it happens.
Well, you may have opened the door for J.R. Shepard, but one thing's for sure, you definitely put on quite a show there for at least about 5 or 6 laps. What was the difference there towards the end of the race? What did maybe J.R. Shepard have that you didn't?
I think he might have had a little bit more tread than I had. No telling. JR, he's a heck of a driver. He tells me, he's like, oh, I got lucky. But yeah, that dude, he's really good. He's won a lot of races in here, and he's a good competitor. But yeah, car kind of fell off and was getting loose on exit.
Well, Dustin, definitely nothing to hang your head about as many laps as you led tonight. Any family, friends, sponsors you'd like to thank before we head off?
No, I'd just like to thank Lowell and everybody that does sponsor the league, and like thank you guys for broadcasting this, and everybody that puts in work towards this league. It's fun, competitive, and I enjoyed it, and plan on seeing you guys in a couple weekends.
Well, thank you, Dustin. Congrats on a great race, and I think we're going to head down to the 3rd place man as Cisco is standing by with him.
I'm going to catch up with Ben Azinga here, who has definitely had a interesting race here. Ben, it was through the wars with you here tonight, but talk us through it, man. How was it out there? Ben, you got us? Oh, there we go. Yeah, now we got you.
Wonderful. Yeah, we got in a few early wrecks, a lot of early wrecks, most of the early wrecks. But we managed to work it out, I guess, and yeah, brought it home 3rd, I think, so that's okay.
Yeah, definitely a good run for you here. Starting to build a little bit of momentum here for your first couple of races. Kind of, what's it been like for you to kind of get on track here, and what have you been seeing so far? What have you been working on?
Well, these modified cars are a lot different from the late models and street stocks, which I've been racing for the last month and a half or so. So I've just had to practice a lot and learn how to work with the new downforce and the more power and stuff like that.
I'll tell you what, you're picking it up fast here, 3rd place here. We're going to have the week off, and then going into next week, or the week after that, we're going to be heading out to South Boston Speedway. Looking forward to that. How are you sizing that one up so far?
Well, I've got a lot of experience at South Boston in the Legends and Tour Modifieds and things like that, so it shouldn't be that bad for me. Log some practice laps that week, and we'll see what we can do there.
All right, well, sponsor shout-outs. Who gets it done for you in the 17 team there?
Purpose Driven Cycling Team, my dad, my brother. they're really supportive, so just want to say thanks to them.
Ben Azinga finishes third here from Southern National. Ben, see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, guys.
That'll do it for us here, Kyle, tonight here from Southern National. Kind of final thoughts here before we get things sorted out and roll on here tonight with the doubleheader?
Overall, we've seen that cautions, precautions there at the beginning of the race, but these guys at the end put on one hell of a show. J.R. Shepherd walking away victorious, his 4th victory on the season. It's going to be interesting to see if he can close out the year or if Stefan Alphonse is going to have something to come back with.
Well, T-minus 15 minutes from now, the USR B&C Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series hits the track, and we'll be right there with you with coverage of that one. On tonight, of course, the Saturday night doubleheader here on LSRTV. For more information on the upcoming broadcasts every week, you can head to www.livesimracing.com, and you can there find the broadcast schedule for the upcoming week and any more goodies, press stuff, all sorts of things going on over there. But for everybody here tonight, for everybody behind the scenes, Laura Lawson, DJ Lyon, Evan Pisoko, over at LSRTV, and for the broadcast crew tonight, for myself, Cisco Scaramouza, Kyle Barnes, we say good evening from Southern National Motorsports Park and the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series. We're going truck racing at Miami next, but until then, we'll see you around the turn.